Yesterday, going to the Children's Hospital has turned into a really cool event that we're going to try to do every single year. The poster giveaway today has turned into a really cool event. We're excited about that as well. And then obviously the announcement of taking the names off the jersey it's been, I think, received really well. People are excited with the direction of the program and the future of the program, but also being very respectful of our past and our traditions and our history. So it's an exciting time. Recruiting's going really well right now. Season tickets are going really well, and the development of our players. We've had a great summer. Our guys look better. I was thinking about it on the walk out here. It was Audrey and the rest of you guys. I put Paris on the scale because nobody believes. He just weighed in 299.4, and if there's anybody that doesn't believe me, I'll take you in there and we can put him on the scale. But there's a lot of really good things going on right now. So excited to get out with the guys today and hand out the new posters, which I think came out really sharp. I want to thank our marketing and communication staff because I think they've handled this all extremely well. So open up the questions.
When did the idea of taking the names off first come up?
Well, guys, let's be honest. I mean, I think the initial press conference, right? The initial press conference. I've been getting questions since the day I arrived. I went to the retirement party last week, and some guy almost assaulted me, asking me the question. Who's it, Bud Meredith? Yeah, at his retirement party, some guy almost assaulted me. But I just, this is something. I've had a lot of conversations with Spider about. I had a lot of conversations with Terry Smith about. I've thought about this from day one. I just thought year one it wasn't the right time to make this decision. There'd been so much change and so much turnover in a short period of time. 5th head coach in 27 months. There's a lot of issues, a lot of things that we had to overcome, and it was just one more thing that I didn't feel ready or prepared to deal with at that time. So after being able to take some time and kind of understand the whole situation and what it meant to people, I do think it's another step in the healing process for us. All the things that have happened the last couple of years, getting off the sanctions, getting the bowls back this past year, getting the bowl revenue back, and now restoring some of the tradition and history. I think it's another step in the right direction for this program. Moving forward. The funny thing is, it's hard to keep something quiet right now. And to be honest with you, I was amazed that it stayed quiet. So it wasn't like I sat those seniors down and had a specific conversation. I did talk to them over a year ago in a leadership council meeting just about the names on the jerseys at that time. But all I did was, once we made the decision, I did two things. I had those seniors as well as some other select players come in late last night and express it to them because I wanted to kind of get their feedback on it before I expressed it to the team. I wanted to meet with the team this morning so they heard it before everybody else, which is, again, hard to do with the way social media is nowadays. The marketing people did a great job of keeping us quiet because we're making posters, we're doing a lot of different things that show this. And then I invited some local former players in this morning at 7 a.m. To me, it's another example of what's cool about Penn State. I pick up the phone, I call, I think, 8 guys and say, hey, can you be at my office Thursday morning at 7 a.m.? And every single one of them says yes. Don't ask why, don't ask what. Jack Ham drives 3 hours in from Pittsburgh to do it, and I expressed it to them first thing in the morning. Obviously, at that point, with the players and our former players, the decision had already been made, but I thought it was important that those two specific groups heard it first. So it wasn't like it was one specific question, one specific discussion. It was really a conversation and a fact gathering over the last year and a half or however long we've been. Yeah, and we actually brought Spider's wife in to take the stitching out of all of them. No, but no, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first got here, I had a lot of meetings with people like Spider, and those were hard meetings, and those were emotional meetings. Todd Kolka got emotional this morning talking to our team. Spider, we've had a number of conversations. Terry Smith. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But those guys are valuable resources, especially for myself. I didn't go to Penn State. So being able to tap into that institutional knowledge and that community knowledge is really important and really valuable for us. And they weren't going to be the end-all, be-all, those guys, but they were going to be a piece of the information. They were a piece of the story, and trying to kind of take all these things in. And as you guys have heard me talk about before, just continuing to gather information and make decisions that we think are in Penn State's best interest long-term moving forward. And I think this is the right thing to do. I think what Bill did was the right thing at the right time. And I think this is the right thing to do at the right time again, moving forward. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a process at all. I mean, we haven't done anything with the jerseys because, again, this was a tight circle of people that kind of knew what was going to happen. Even our staff. Our staff found out this morning at 7:30. Our players found out before the rest of the coaches found out. So, the jerseys were left as they were. It's not that complicated to tear the names off, the stitching off the back, and we got plenty of time to do that before now in Temple. And and the other thing is we're ordering new uniforms and new equipment all the time. So we just tried to keep this as tight as we possibly could.
Was the guys applaud, or what did they do when you announced this to them in the squad?
I think it was kind of like taking it all in. I expressed it. Then the former players got up and talked about the significance that it meant to them. I told them they have 1 or 2 minutes to speak, no more than that. And I looked at Spider and I said, Spider, did you hear what I said? 1 or 2 minutes, because Spider can, he can tell some stories. So those guys got a chance to get up and talk, and I think they get it. I think whenever you make a decision like this, there's probably 5% that maybe aren't completely sure or those types of things. Just like when we put the names on, that's part of it. But I think having those former players in there, and Spider and Terry, and talking about the significance it means to them and this program and what it stood for and why it's so important, it's hard to argue with that. That's also why I brought that select group of guys up the night before, so that if there is a few guys in the locker room that after the meeting's over don't understand, they can go over and kind of reinforce the reason for it. And in the end, we've made a decision and we're moving forward now, and everybody's going to pull in the right direction. But I don't want you to take that the wrong way. I think it was received extremely well. Extremely well.
Probably, when you're a young guy that's on a team, you don't realize history as much. You don't realize until you're removed from the program some years and you come back and you're a little bit older and a little more mature. But I can't tell you how many text messages and phone calls I've gotten today from former players and lettermen, just ecstatic. Guys making comments like, I can finally pay my dues to the Letterman's Club now. Now I'm welcome back. I feel like I'm connected again. And just things that they're excited. They're pumped up, and we're just trying to get back to all those values.
Were you ever riled up about that, Terry? I know some people were, some people weren't, but when the names went on as a former player, what was your take back then?
No, I never really had an opinion one way or another. I'm clearly happy that the names are off the jersey, but when the names went on, I clearly understood why they did that. That was the roughest part of our career and history. And it was needed at that time to create an identity for those guys to stick together and battle through and keep us afloat. Keep this program surviving, and through it all we never had a losing season. So hats off to those guys that did a tremendous job. Talked to O.J. McDuffie, Troy Drayton, Darren Perry, Sam Gash, Keith Gogan, some other guys. Talking to O.J. McDuffie, he made I think Coach talked to you guys about a story that he texted me and we're going back and forth, and he made the comment. He said, "Man, I'm so happy. I'm gonna come up there next weekend." So, guys are just ecstatic. This is a big moment in our history, and we're just trying to get back to championship caliber football and those core values of just playing for Penn State, and who cares what the name on the back is, who cares who scores a touchdown, who cares who makes the tackle or the sack. Let's just play for Penn State and have great fun and success. You never know how young people will respond to it. Some will embrace it, and clearly some will say, well, I want that flash and flare, but that's not who we are. And so that helps us separate those kids as well, because this is who we are and this is who we will